Chhattisgarh. But it's not just limited to the politics. The probe is intensifying as well. The Enforcement Directorate is already probing it. Now, the Mumbai police has also filed an FIR in this particular case. It's not just Saurabh Chandrakar that has been booked. Several other stakeholders have also been named. One such person is the one who are going to be unmasking and giving you details of what exactly this new FIR talks about. Who is this new stakeholder that is under the investigation and what are his links with the promoters and the owners of the Mahadev app? What is this link that the Mumbai police is also now investigating? Let's take a look at what the details are of this particular accused. This is an accused named Amit Sharma. Who exactly is he? Why is he now named by Mumbai police as far as this FIR goes? He's the Mumbai-based partner of Saurabh Chandrakar. Saurabh Chandrakar was the owner of Mahadev app. He has claimed that he has no links to this alleged scam, but all of it is under investigation. Amit Sharma, we're given to understand, has secured sponsorship deals for an award show for Mr. Chandrakar. That is the link that the Mumbai police is now investigating. He's believed to have links with Underworld and with Dawood Ibrahim's brother as well. All of this is mentioned in the FIR that has now been filed in Mumbai. We're given to understand that he's funded various construction projects in Mira Road area on the outskirts of Mumbai as well. Where is this money coming from? Was this proceeds of crime that was used? Was he the man who was laundering this money? All of that is being investigated by the Mumbai police now, which is what the FIR says. What are the charges then, and what exactly is this man accused of, and the 20 others that have been booked in this particular FIR? Let's talk about what exactly the money trail is that the Mumbai police is going to be investigating. Cryptocurrency, digital currency wallets and Benami accounts were used to get this money is what the Mumbai police believes. That is what the FIR states based on the complaint that was filed. They're given to understand that Saurabh Chandrakar and his partners were then laundering this money using cryptocurrency, using digital currency wallets and of course Benami accounts. Several dummy accounts were formed through which this money was laundered. What was it being used for? Allegations are it was being used for procuring arms and for narco-terrorism. Very serious allegations there coming to the fore, all of which are now going to be investigated by the Mumbai police. Remember, there's a parallel investigation by the Enforcement Directorate that is already in place. These are new allegations that have come to the fore. An FIR being filed in Mumbai after several FIRs were filed in Chhattisgarh first, from where this app originated, where the owners and promoters of the app originally came from Bhilai, in fact. We are getting more details. My colleague Yasha will be joining us shortly, getting us more details of what she's accessed as far as this FIR goes. This is filed in the Matunga area of Mumbai. There are several websites that are also named, several operators that all work under one umbrella, under one platform, all of whom are using these platforms to launder money for Saurabh Chandrakar and for the Mahadev app is what the investigation so far has revealed, and that is the line of investigation, in fact, that is really taking place. Remember, this is a scam that came to the fore a few weeks ago. It is already resonating politically, especially as far as Chhattisgarh goes, because that is where most number of FIRs have been filed. Bhilai is where the app promoters initially started out from. Saurabh Chandrakar is believed to be in the UAE, in fact. From there, he's been issuing statements of denial so far, but his links are under the scanner of multiple agencies. Yasha, my colleague, joining us now, getting us more details of this latest FIR that has been filed. Yasha, what are the allegations? If you could take us through step by step, especially as far as the Khiladi.com link is concerned, how money was routed through dummy accounts.
So yes, in fact, this case that has come to forth, there's an FIR that's been registered at Matunga police station in this case. And the FIR clearly states that this is a 15,000 crore scam wherein there are several people involved. There is in fact an FIR against 32 people, which includes Saurabh Chandrakar as well as Ravi Uppal. So in this case, both Saurabh Chandrakar as well as Ravi Uppal have been mentioned. Apart from that, there are several people from Mumbai whose name has been mentioned in this FIR. This FIR which states that it is in fact Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal who were in fact the mastermind of Khiladi.com. Apart from that, so here we understand that of course Mahadev app was something that both of these were under the radar in, which was by the Enforcement Directorate. But here now the fact that Mumbai police also investigating this case, there is another app, there's another website which is called Khiladi.com. So apart from that, there is a mention of 10 more links in this case wherein it's mentioned that these were the platforms wherein money laundering was taking place. So here the person who's made the complaint, the complainant in this case, has said that even if one app shuts, there are various ways in which the other app is found or other domains are used for betting purposes. Here he's also mentioned that it is these betting apps through which there was money laundering which was taking place. There are several people who are associates of Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal. Both of these people, they were working with the associates in Mumbai. In fact, there's also a mention about how this money was being taken. This money was taken through various cryptocurrency accounts and also through digital wallets. This money was taken from players and through these channels. It is through these agents who are working in Mumbai. There are various dummy accounts. There have been more than thousands of dummy accounts which are under the radar of the agencies, and they're saying that it was these dummy accounts for which people were paid rupees 1 lakh per month to give these dummy accounts. Also, when you speak of these dummy accounts and you speak of people who are investigating this, what had come to forth was that after getting that 1 lakh through digital wallets or through dummy accounts, later on the associates of Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal who were working in Mumbai, they were transferring that money either through Hawala or through cryptocurrencies. Eventually, they are saying that betting was also being done on bigger tournaments, also which includes cricket tournaments as well. And then the same money was being routed and it was being used for illegal purposes or also for narco-terrorism. You know, this is something that has come forth in the FIR, wherein they are saying that when this money was being used through cryptocurrency or it was being used through various Hawala networks, it was then being taken for narco-terrorism and also for procuring arms. Now, this is something that has come forth in this very FIR, and they're saying that there are several people, these associates, who were also acquiring properties across Mumbai so that another black money channels can be run and the money could then be forwarded for various other purposes. Yes.
Right, so several details there coming out as far as this particular FIR is concerned. This is the latest development, but it's not the only investigation that is taking place. Yasha, do stay on with me because we want to throw some light on the Enforcement Directorate investigation in this particular case as well. What exactly has the ED revealed? One thing that the ED is investigating and the line of questioning as far as the accused are concerned are the links with D Company, with the Dawood and his associates. Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal, the two main accused in this case, collaborated with D Company is what the Enforcement Directorate has been alleging. The collaboration was to operate a betting app in Pakistan. That is where the Dawood Ibrahim angle comes in, is what the Enforcement Directorate believes. On Dawood's instructions, Chandrakar fronted Amit Sharma. This Amit Sharma, who now has been named in the Mumbai Police FIR as well. So that is the link that is now coming to the fore. Amit Sharma, Dawood's brother, became partners. That is how the man who was the front for Saurabh Chandrakar and for the Mahadev app came into contact with Dawood Ibrahim and his associates. Dawood's brother oversees the betting business in Pakistan, and that's really what they were collaborating for. Mustaqim provides logistical support to Chandrakar's Mahadev app. That is what the investigation has led to, is what the Enforcement Directorate believes, and that is what is now under investigation. Arunima, my colleague, also now joining us, getting us more details on this. Arunima, there are several contradictions as far as the investigations go, but there are many similarities, commonalities, links. One, of course, that we see in the Enforcement Directorate probe and now the Mumbai Police FIR is the link with Dawood and his associates.
You know, politically speaking, Mahadev app has become very important because this has links with the Chhattisgarh elections. Prime Minister Modi, even today, while addressing a rally in Chhattisgarh, has made a direct charge at Bhupesh Baghel. And why are these charges being made? Because also there is this video confession of somebody called Shubham Soni who claims that he is the actual mastermind, the actual brain behind Mahadev book, as he calls it. So if ED is investigating Chandrakar and Uppal, if the Mumbai police is investigating Chandrakar and Uppal, where does Shubham Soni really fit in? And what really then happens to his charge that he went and met Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel at the CMO, at the Chief Minister's residence, and there was this conversation between the CM and him allegedly that he must go to Dubai. There was the conversation that he must pay 500 plus crores in different installments to ensure protection for people associated with his app. So the jigsaw puzzle is not fitting in, politically speaking. But if you see the way investigation is going, both the Mumbai Police and the Enforcement Directorate have called Uppal and Chandrakar as the mastermind behind this entire scam, and the way linkages are being drawn with D Company, with Pakistan and with Hawala trading, they are sticking to the fact that this is not just a case of a scam of online betting and money laundering. This could be that much more.
Right, politically speaking, like you said, the BJP has made this an issue specifically against Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel. the trail leads to the Chief Minister's office, and that needs to be investigated, is what the Prime Minister on multiple occasions has said. As far as the poll campaign in Chhattisgarh is concerned, how much of it actually resonates with voters, we'll have to look into that. But as far as the investigation goes, there are several links that are now coming to the fore. Narco-terrorism is something that is being investigated. Links with Dawood Ibrahim and his associates also now under investigation. Vikram Singh, former DGP, now joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You know, we're seeing the kind of unraveling this scam really is coming to the fore, the kind of not just the gravity of the money really, but the allegations narco-terrorism was being funded is what the agencies now believe.
The volume of the turnover wasn't scandalous. All aspects of narco-terrorism and the fact that Dawood Ibrahim name is also cropping up. I would compliment the Mumbai police from the FIR and bringing the same perspective, because it was absolutely unconvincing, but in which a petty juice seller, nothing wrong in selling juice, but a petty juice seller beginning from Chhattisgarh, Raipur, lands up in Dubai and has a total of 200 crores per day. And to the extent that his total assets now exceed 20,000 crores. It does not come down from heaven. There is more to it than what meets the eye. It's money laundering, it's hawala, it's drug money, and also anti-national activities. And now the task is begun. Now I would expect that the NIA to take over the investigation, because the financial and the international ramifications are such that a local police may not be able to do justice to it. Yes, the primary investigation and the local can be done. But for a person who spent 200 crores on his wedding February this year, I mean, you can well understand the depth of his pockets and the depth of his finances.
Now, Vikram Singh, we're talking about how scandalous the amount of money is, how much it runs into over 500 crores. That's what the agencies believe. Now, it could very well just be the tip of the iceberg as investigations move forward. But do you think that this could have gone under the radar for as long as it did without any political support?
Obviously not. This kind of an empire, something as big as, something as petty as 50,000 rupees, if can that be attention of law enforcement agency, something that amounts hundreds and thousands of crores without patronage, is impossible. And I would not like to speculate, because it's too serious a matter concerning national security, but there are important people that are already on the radar and whose names I would not like to repeat. But yes, the Prime Minister has himself placed his finger at those in Chhattisgarh who seem to be complicit in this scandal.
Yes, where this investigation leads and how many people are really involved, until what office does this go to? Does it really go to the Chief Minister's office as claimed by some accused in this case? All of that is under investigation. But Vikram Singh, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. My colleague Yasha continues to be with us here on this broadcast. Now, there are several Bollywood celebrities who were also summoned in this case, who are also on the radar, Yasha. What is the status of that part of the investigation?
So in fact, when we speak of the Enforcement Directorate investigation, wherein we'd seen that there were several celebrities who were in fact summoned in this case, there were several who had in fact sought some more time, following which there's not been a second summon which has been issued. However, when we access the charge sheet, there was a mention of how Kapil Sharma, who was among the people who was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, he had in fact made his statement clear before the Enforcement Directorate, saying that he was present. He was present for Saurabh Chandrakar's events, because there was an event management company which had sent him an invite, and it was through them is where he was present. Now, apart from that, when we speak of celebrities, in fact, even Mumbai Police has in their FIR made a mention of several celebrities in this case. There is a mention of another person from Mumbai. In fact, it is a director who they say was working with a channel, and there are names of one Bollywood A-lister in this FIR. Apart from that, there are names of 3 more celebrities who would work also in the TV as well as the Bollywood space. It's said that this director was then also producing and having various platforms or various, in fact for that matter, series wherein some of these celebrities were also a part of it. So here, when it comes to Mumbai Police's investigation, of course, this very director and the names that have been mentioned by this complainant in the FIR would also be under the scanner. So here, when we speak of the entire Mahadev app case, there is not just one, but there are various subsidiaries of Mahadev for that matter, like we've mentioned Keloya, like we've mentioned Khilari.com, there's a Lotus app, there's a Fair Play app. There are all of these apps which are under the scanner of all the agencies, be it the Chhattisgarh Police, be it the Enforcement Directorate, or be it for that matter Mumbai Police. There are various such apps which are functioning, and most of these apps they are being promoted by Bollywood actors. In fact, the complainant in this very case had also mentioned in his FIR that one of the Bollywood A-lister who was quite prominent in 2000s, who still continues to be a part of the Bollywood industry right now, was someone who was promoting this very Khilari.com app. And considering it was him who was promoting it, the players, or for that matter the victims in this case, were in fact being convinced that it is a legit app. However, the modus operandi when it comes to this entire app of how Bollywood actors, Bollywood celebrities were being used to reach out to players is also something that's very clear. In fact, the complainant has said that for that matter, to gain trust of those who are in fact playing for the first time, there's a 1300 times the bonus amount that's given for the amount that is put in by the first time player, and following which, once they get that bonus amount, there is no way of them getting the amount back, and then it's only a loss that these people incur. So yes, this was the modus operandi, which is why we see that there were several celebrities who were being used to lure people over, being used to fleece people so that they would gain their trust and become regular players on these apps. Yes.
Right, Esha, do stay on with us because this is taking a political turn. Like we were talking about, the BJP's campaign in Chhattisgarh, the Prime Minister's as well, has been focused on corruption of the Congress, of the Chief Minister, and the Mahadev app is the latest example. Both the Prime Minister and other contenders in the BJP are now citing. All allegations completely rejected by not just the Congress, but the man in question himself, Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. Listen in to the war of words that has erupted in the poll-bound state.
यहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री के करीबी जेल में बंद है। कांग्रेस के इन गणितबाजों को बताना होगा कि मुख्यमंत्री को इसमें कितना पैसा हिस्सा मिला है। कांग्रेस के बाकी नेताओं के हिस्से में कितना माल गया है और दिल्ली दरबार तक इसमें से कितना माल पहुंचा है। यहां विधानसभा उम्मीदवारों को टिकटों देने को लेकर कांग्रेस में जो खेल हुआ है उसके तो ऑडियो चल रहे हैं।
करप्ट पहले है तो मोदी जी से मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि रमन सिंह के पहले खिलाफ कार्रवाई कर ले। वो सेलेक्टिव कार्रवाई न करे, करना है तो हेमंत विश्व शर्मा के खिलाफ कर ले, अजीत पवार के खिलाफ कर ले, और जो लोग जो मोदी वॉशिंग पाउडर में धुल के आए ना उस पर पहले कार्रवाई कर ले, उसके बाद फिर बात करें।
RP Singh of the BJP now joining us here on this broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. The Congress is reiterating the charge that it always makes when the BJP talks of graft, that BJP is like a corruption washing machine. All those corrupt leaders who are in other parties are often spoken of, but once they switch sides to the BJP, then their sins are completely whitewashed.
Well, I'll answer that later on, but first let's talk about what has happened. I mean, there are links of this whole of this racket, this booking racket, this Satta racket with the Dawood Ibrahim. Now, he has much more to answer than the normal taking money on allowing the operations of the Satta or the betting in the state. And also, if Mr. Baghel is so clean, why doesn't he say that, okay, please check, I am giving my mobile number, please check my all call details, or ask him to go for a inquiry into it. Why is running? Why doesn't he ask a sitting High Court judge to inquire into it? No, he won't, because he knows he is culprit. And then best is let him ask the authorities to go through his call records, and then things will be clear thereafter.
Right. Right. RP Singh of the BJP there going on to talk about the hypocrisy of the Congress. It's the charge the Congress makes against the BJP as well. But the allegations in this particular case are extremely serious. RP Singh, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We have seen politically this has become an issue, or at least the BJP is trying to make it one. The Congress believes this finds no resonance on ground as far as electoral politics is concerned, and it's really not on the voters' mind. Is that so? We'll have to wait and watch out for. But Yasha continues to be with us here on this broadcast, getting us more details as far as the investigations go. Now, the allegations are extremely serious. Those of the links with Dawood Company, those of links to narco-terrorism.
Absolutely. In fact, this was something that we had seen was, like you've already mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate as well. But there have been time and again various statements by Saurabh Chandrakar as well as Ravi Uppal, who have been known to be the prime accused in this case. They have time and again issued statements that they have no links to Mahadev app. In fact, they were the ones who started this juice factory. Enforcement Directorate early on in their investigation had mentioned links of Saurabh Chandrakar, of Ravi Uppal, and how they were closely linked with D company, how they were closely linked with Dawood Ibrahim, and what was the links, considering it was mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate then that Saurabh Chandrakar and Ravi Uppal, they are currently based in the UAE. They were trying to hide from the agencies after this FIR came to forth. And what was it and how were these various apps, considering that source-based information had mentioned that not only in India but there are various countries where there are betting apps which work on not only sports, not only cricket, football, but also games like Team Patti, which are being operated through these betting apps. It was mentioned that considering that they were based out of UAE, they had close links with Dawood Ibrahim, they had close links with D-Gang. This was something that was being mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate early on in the investigation as well. In fact, they had mentioned that all of these apps which were being run in Pakistan had close links and were being developed with the help of the D-Gang. However, all of this was clearly being negated, and there were statements which were issued by both of these people and by Mahadev app saying they have no such links to them. But now again we've seen that in Mumbai Police's investigation, very much at Matunga Police Station where this FIR has been registered, details have come forth and it's been mentioned again that that both of these people have links to D-Gang and to Dawood Ibrahim, and that's how narco-terrorism is operating through the money that's being laundered through Hawala when it comes to Khiladi.com. Yes.
Absolutely. It is just the beginning as far as this investigation goes. An FIR has been filed. The investigation is going to take some time to proceed. There are multiple FIRs that have been registered in this particular case. There's an Enforcement Directorate probe that is also underway. We'll keep a track of that and much more here on Nation at 5. For now, it's time for a quick break.
The Delhi government and the Delhi administration make sure that they initially make sure that is implemented on the ground to the T, so that some sort of immediate relief can be provided to the people out here in the national capital who have been suffering from this deteriorating air quality for at least the last 10 days. Currently, I am reporting from the pollution hotspot out here in the national capital, that is the Anand Vihar bus terminal, and if I could just show you in the visuals around here, the visibility is not as bad as it was expected. The AQI out here in the national capital remains to be in the very poor category, although the measures of GRAP 4 has been implemented. But yes, the manner in which the order of the Supreme Court of not bursting crackers was flouted by several people out here in the national capital, that has made sure that the AQI deteriorates yet again. But if you compare the AQI that is today, the very next day post Diwali, with the yesteryears, you can actually see that the AQI is not as bad as it was expected, and in fact it has somewhere or the other been better than what it was last year at this time around. Also, what we have seen that yes, there were several people who had flouted the norms and had gone ahead and busted crackers through the night on the day of Diwali. But yes, today the AQI has definitely deteriorated, but it is not as bad as it can be seen. On the other hand, we have seen a lot of politics that has already started to happen in this entire matter. The opposition leaders are already coming on record and putting blame on the BJP leaders because they were the people who instigated people to go ahead and burst these crackers. So yes, the political blame game has already started. But if you speak about the AQI has definitely deteriorated post Diwali, but it is not as bad as it was over the last many years right after the day of Diwali. Currently I am reporting from Akshardham temple, where I could just show you in the visuals around here that yet again today a cloud of smog has yet again engulfed the national capital. Remember, over the weekend we saw that there were spells of rain, which meant that the AQI in the national capital had improved significantly. But post Diwali, yet again we are seeing that the AQI in the national capital has yet again deteriorated. The main reason behind this is being said to be the manner in which the norms were flouted by the residents of the national capital even after the orders of the Supreme Court, which meant that there was a blanket ban on bursting of any sort of crackers. That was flouted significantly out here in the national capital. That is the reason why we are seeing that the AQI out here has yet again deteriorated. Over the next few days, the IMD predicts that the AQI might improve due to the wind conditions, but if you look at the longer run over the next 1 week, the AQI is yet again going to get back into the severe category, which means that it is yet again going to be a troublesome time for the people out here in the national capital region, where yet again they would be forced to breathe in the toxic air. Now what remains to be seen as to what new arrangements or schemes can be made by the government to make sure that the AQI remains under breathable levels, because over the past 1 week we have seen that the AQI had deteriorated, which meant that there were a lot of health issues that people of the national capital were actually facing. So the next 1 week is going to be very, very important, especially from the point of view of the Delhi government and the Delhi administration, to make sure that schemes are made and implemented in such a way that the AQI remains under control and it does not become hazardous for the people out here in the national capital.
जैसा दिल्ली सरकार ने कहा था कि फायर क्रैकर्स बर्न नहीं करने, लेकिन उस हिसाब से फायर क्रैकर्स बहुत ज़्यादा जलाए गए हैं दिल्ली में। जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ वहाँ भी मेरे को बहुत देखने को मिला ये, तो मैं परेशान होकर रात को सो नहीं पाया, फिर सुबह साइकिलिंग करने निकल गया। जब से ये न्यूज़ आई थी पराली जल रही है, तो तब से मैं निकलता हूँ फील करने के लिए कि क्या वेदर में चेंज हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है, बट हुआ है चेंज।
ये मतलब पोल्यूशन का ही है ज़्यादा, तो ये नीचे तो बाकी तो सब बढ़िया है। ऐसा मास्क वगैरह भी नहीं लेके आए हम, उधर क्या सब कुछ ठीक है, यहीं पे थोड़ा सा परेशानी है।
After the relief that people of the national capital got just a few days ago after light spells of rains had engulfed the national capital, which meant that the AQI had come down significantly and was hovering in the poor category. Now post Diwali, we are seeing that the AQI has again deteriorated. Currently I am reporting from Kartavya and just move to the frame and try and show you in the visuals over here that another layer of smog has yet again engulfed the national capital. But remember, this is not only smog, but what experts are saying that there is element of fog that is also in these visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now. So yes, the AQI has deteriorated after Diwali, but remember the AQI was already in the severe category at least 2 to 3 days ago, and today as well the AQI is still hovering within the very poor to poor category, but yet it is still very, very difficult for people to breathe out here. Remember the manner in which the Supreme Court orders of not bursting any sort of crackers was flouted yesterday. There were several cases that were seen out here in the national capital where this order of the Supreme Court of not bursting any sort of cracker was definitely flouted. In fact, the fire department itself had called more than 100 calls till 10 p.m. itself. So it actually shows that the people of the national capital, in fact, the majority of the people of the national capital were actually not bursting crackers, but yes, there was a significant number who were seen flouting these norms and bursting crackers, because of which we are seeing that the AQI has yet again deteriorated out here in the national capital and is yet again in the very, very poor category. Now today, the prediction from the IMD is that once the sun is out, the wind speeds are likely to pick up and these pollutants would yet again be washed away. And that is the only silver lining for the people out.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. The ties between India and Canada seem to be at an impasse. It all began when Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, came out and blamed India for the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, someone who's known to be a pro-Khalistani element in Canada. Today, we have that standoff coming back into highlight because Justin Trudeau has once again reiterated his allegations against India, going on to blame India for what's transpiring there, for the increase in crimes that we are seeing there. There's a new threat that has come to the fore from Sikh for Justice Chief Gurpatwant Singh Pannoon against the Indian High Commissioner in Canada. We have no words of condemnation, no action being taken in Canada against that, but Justin Trudeau is turning around and pinning the blame on India, even citing the Vienna Convention when India decided to strike back and asked for parity as far as diplomatic staff here in India was concerned. Listen in to the comment that came to the fore from Justin Trudeau and the reactions that followed.
We reached out to India to ask them to work with us on getting to the bottom of this matter. And India's response is to kick out a whole bunch of Canadian diplomats by violating their rights under the Vienna Convention. That is of concern to countries around the world. We have tried to work constructively and positively with India, and we will continue to. And that means continuing to work with Indian government diplomats. This is not a fight we want to be having right now.
Till date, Justin Trudeau only talks about credible allegations. He is not still presenting any evidence. Our ambassador there has categorically asked the Canadian government to present some evidence. Sanjay Verma, the ambassador, has categorically asked, why don't you present evidence? But they don't have evidence. So they are just talking about allegation, and he keep on reiterating that under some political pressure because of his political compulsions. But his relationship with India will only go further when he presents the credible evidence.
देखिए, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ट्रूडो जो अभी बात कह रहे हैं वो एक तरह का, जैसे मानिए जो हालात उन्होंने खुद ही बिगाड़े हैं उसको कुछ संभालने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, बट फिर भी वो पूरा संभालने का प्रयास नहीं भी कर रहे हैं क्योंकि वो इंडिया को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं वियना कन्वेंशन की उल्लंघन के लिए। अब ये बात बताइए, सबसे पहला डिप्लोमेट किसने एक्सपेल किया? ये जो निज्जर की असैसिनेशन की बात हुई तो सबसे पहले तो कैनेडियन अथॉरिटीज़ ने इंडियन एक सीनियर डिप्लोमेट को एक्सपेल करा। अब डिप्लोमेसी का तो ये प्रिंसिपल है रेसिप्रोसिटी, ओके? तो जो आपने जब शुरू करा मामला, आपने ट्रिगर करा, तो ऑब्वियसली इंडिया विल रिटेलिएट बिकॉज डिप्लोमेसी का वो कायदा कानून है। तो अब उस पर ब्लेम करना इंडिया को वियना कन्वेंशन के उल्लंघन के लिए मेरे ख्याल से एक तरह का इट्स इनकरेक्ट फॉर प्राइम मिनिस्टर ट्रूडो।
Let me put it this way, it is indeed sad to note that the tension between India and Canada shows no sign of, getting resolved, de-escalated. Yeah. And the Canadian Prime Minister is quite right that this is not the fight that they want. But at the same time, we should remember that in a manner of speaking, it is he who started the tension by saying in the House of Commons that he had evidence that Indian agents were involved in the killing of Nijjar.
Instead of blaming India, perhaps Justin Trudeau and his administration should focus on getting their house in order because the crime there is increasing. Organized crime specifically. We have another instance of gang war that came to the fore, this time from Edmonton. The police in fact went on to say that unknown assailants came out and killed a 41-year-old Sikh man and his 11-year-old son outside a gas station. The accused, we have no idea who they are. The victim is believed to be someone who was wanted in Canada for illegal possession of arms, for drug possession and its sale as well. Listen in to what the Edmonton police had to say about the status of this investigation.
No one was located inside that burnt vehicle and no injuries have been reported as a result of the fire at this time. I can tell you that EPS homicide section is now leading the investigation and determined that this was a targeted, what we would call a targeted shooting event. And I think later on we'll take a minute to just explain a little bit more about what we mean by that. The autopsies have been scheduled for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And as always, we'll provide updates on the investigation as well as confirmation of both cause and manner of their deaths after those autopsies.
Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us for more details on this particular case. Now, Abhishek, organized crime and the rise of that is something that External Affairs Minister S. Shankar has also raised in the past, and how Canada really should focus on getting their house in order instead of turning around and blaming India without giving any proof to the Indian side.
And we have seen that statement made by S. Shankar was in context of Canadian Prime Minister and his government trying to allege Indian agencies' role in killing of Hardeep Singh Nichar. Though till now the assassination has not been investigated in a way that would lead anybody to suspect any person's role, or there has not been any serious arrest made in that case. India has also blamed the entire killing on the worsening law and order situation in Canada, which has given rise to gun crimes, violence, gang rivalries, narcotics trade, and the killing that we are currently talking about, Uppal, a Sikh man who was killed, who was gunned down at a gas station in Edmond with his 11-year-old son, is also being linked to one of the gang rivalries that he was also part of. In fact, he was also involved in some of the narcotics trade in the past as well, and there was an assassination attempt on his life last year also. So the killing, though it is tragic because of the 11-year-old kid was also killed in that incident, but that also kind of reflects on the societal issues that Canadian side is having in terms of growing or rise in these organized and petty crimes that the government has not been able to bring under control.
And the law and order situation there is something that the opposition leaders within Canada are also raising, asking Justin Trudeau questions of being supplied to them. Food is being supplied to them via a tunnel, via a pipeline that was made for water supply to the construction. Via compressors, now food packets are also being sent in. Contact has been established and all of them are safe and alive is what the confirmation is from the state government. CNN News 18 is reporting from on ground. Take a look.
देखिए, अभी मैं ठीक उस टनल के बाहर खड़ा हूं। यहाँ पर दो प्लानिंग पर यहाँ पर काम चल रहा है। पहले तो जो मलबा इस टनल के अंदर है, आप जो ये पॉइंट देख रहे हैं टनल का, इससे 270 मीटर पे वो स्पॉट है जहाँ पर ये लूज फॉल हुआ है। करीब 20 मीटर के आसपास मलबा वहाँ से निकाला जा चुका है। ऊपर से जो लूज रॉक है वो टूट रही है, वो दरक रहा है, तो लगातार मलबा गिरने का एक खतरा बना हुआ है। हालांकि इसके साथ साथ आप देखेंगे कि मशीनें जो इंटर कर रही हैं, ये शॉर्ट किटिंग के लिए शॉर्ट किटिंग वहाँ पर की जा रही है, यानी कि जिस पोर्शन से आप मलबा हटा रहे हैं वहाँ टनल की दीवारों पर सीमेंट का छिड़काव हो रहा है ताकि उसमें स्टेबिलिटी आ जाए, मलबा न गिरे। दूसरा जो प्लान है कि देहरादून से एक स्पेशल मशीन, बोरिंग मशीन यहाँ पर मंगाई गई है, जो उम्मीद जताई जा रही है कि आज रात या फिर कल तक स्पॉट पर पहुंच जाएगी। वो यहाँ पर बोरिंग करने का काम शुरू करेगी। और जो हमारी सचिव आपदा प्रबंधन से बातचीत हुई है, उनका कहना है कि हमारा टारगेट है कि कल रात तक इस टनल में बोरिंग कंप्लीट हो जाएगी, यानी कि जो मलबा है, मलबे के अंदर एक छोटी सी सुरंग बनाई जाएगी और उस सुरंग के अंदर ह्यूम पाइप डाले जाएंगे। तो कोशिश ये है कि इन ह्यूम पाइप के जरिए जो 40 लोग दूसरी ओर फंसे हुए हैं उनको यहाँ पर निकाला जा सके। सर, क्या कुछ रहा जो आपने वहाँ पर निरीक्षण किया? क्या
सभी एक्सपर्ट लगे हुए हैं। देखिए, अंदर चूंकि जहाँ पर ये मलबा आया है और रास्ता बंद हो गया है, उससे आगे 200 मीटर टनल और बनी हुई है। बड़ा स्पेस उसके अंदर है और उसके अंदर जो 40 श्रमिक भाई हैं उन सभी से संपर्क भी स्थापित हो गया है, कम्युनिकेशन भी हो रहा है। रात में उनके लिए खाने के जो सामान है वो सामान भी भिजवाया गया है। ऑक्सीजन की सप्लाई भी लगातार चल रही है और भी जो एक्सपर्ट लोग हैं उस पर जल्दी से जल्दी रास्ता बनाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। और केंद्र सरकार भी पूरी तरह से इसके लिए गंभीर है, राज्य सरकार भी गंभीर है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं इसकी चिंता व्यक्त करी है। कल वो जब सीमांत क्षेत्र के अपने दौरे के बाद दिल्ली पहुंचे हैं तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले मुझे फ़ोन पर पूछा है और फ़ोन पर सारी विस्तृत जानकारी ली है और उन्होंने कहा है कि हर संभव जो मदद है केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से वो करी जाएगी। हमको आश्वासन दिया है और उन्होंने स्वयं कहा है कि सबकी जान बचाई जानी बहुत ज़रूरी है और उसके लिए हम सब लोग गंभीरता से काम कर रहे हैं। हम सभी श्रमिक भाइयों के पारिवारिक जनों को भी आश्वस्त करना चाहते हैं कि हम हर संभव उनको सुरक्षित बाहर निकालने के लिए प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
Sunil Naprabhat, my colleague, now joining us from Uttarkashi, from on ground, getting us a status update of what really has happened. Sunil, 36 घंटे के बराबर हो चुके हैं जब से ये घटना हुई है. अब तक की स्थिति क्या है? कहां तक अंदर पहुंच चुकी है जो रेस्क्यू टीम है, और आगे कितना टाइम लगेगा जब तक कि वो जो लोग वहां फंसे हुए हैं उन तक पहुंच सके?
देखिए, दो चीज़ें हैं. जो टनल है जहां तक इसकी बोरिंग कर ली गई थी वो 2.5 किलोमीटर का पोर्शन है. ये जो दुर्घटना हुई है 270 मीटर के आसपास हुई है, और करीब 30 से 40 मीटर में जो अनुमान लगाया जा रहा है कि 340 मीटर पोर्शन टनल का धंसा है. यानी कि करीब 2 किलोमीटर के आसपास का जो स्पेस है उन 40 श्रमिकों के पास अभी मौजूद है जहाँ पर वो लोग रह रहे हैं. तो ये माना जा रहा था कि इस 2 किलोमीटर एरिया में पर्याप्त ऑक्सीजन होगी जो उनको कम से कम हफ्ते भर तक उनके लिए पर्याप्त होगी. बावजूद इसके पानी के पाइप के जरिए वहाँ पर ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई की जा रही है, कभी उसको रोककर पानी की सप्लाई की जा रही है, और इसी पाइप से पानी के मोटे पाइप से वहाँ पर कुछ खाने का मटेरियल भी उनको खासकर ड्राई फ्रूट भेजे जा रहे हैं कंप्रेशर के जरिए. ये आज का रहा. दूसरी ओर करीब 21 मीटर के आसपास वहाँ से मलबा हटाने में प्रशासन कामयाब रहा है, रेस्क्यू टीमें कामयाब रही हैं, लेकिन इसके साथ साथ लगातार लूज फॉल वहाँ पर हो रहा है, जिसके चलते रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में दिक्कतें हो रही हैं, आगे बढ़ने में दिक्कतें हो रही हैं. इसके लिए शॉर्ट किटिंग का एक रास्ता अपनाया गया कि आप जहाँ जहाँ से मलबा हटा रहे हैं वहाँ पर सीमेंट और उसके मिक्सचर का एक प्रेशर आप डालते हैं ताकि वहाँ पर लूज फॉल न हो. लेकिन इसमें कोई खास सफलता रेस्क्यू टीमों को नहीं मिल रही है, लेकिन फिर भी ये काम जारी है. दूसरा जो वैकल्पिक ऑप्शन अपनाया जा रहा है, देहरादून से सिंचाई विभाग की एक स्पेशल मशीन जिसको अर्थ आगर मशीन कहते हैं, उसको यहाँ पर मंगाया गया है. आज देहरादून से वो लोड भी हो गई और ये माना जा रहा है कि कल तक या फिर देर रात तक मशीन स्पॉट पर पहुंच जाएगी. इस मशीन के जरिए मलबे में बोरिंग किया जाएगा, और बोरिंग करने के बाद इसमें 800 और 900 mm के जो उसमें होल किया जाएगा, उसमें थ्रू किया जाएगा. ह्यूम पाइप इसमें डाले जाएंगे स्टील के, और ये कोशिश की जा रही है कि अगर ह्यूम पाइप डालने में प्रशासन को सफलता मिलती है, रेस्क्यू टीमों को सफलता मिलती है, तो उसके जरिए श्रमिकों को रेस्क्यू किया जाएगा. सचिव आपदा प्रबंधन और NHIDCL जो इसका पूरा काम देख रही है, जो इस टनल को बना रही थी, उनके अधिकारियों से हमारी बातचीत हुई. उनका कहना है कि कल रात तक, देर रात तक वो इस पर ड्रिल करने में सक्सेस रहेंगे, सफल रहेंगे, और उसके बाद ह्यूम पाइप डाला जाएगा. तो बहुत संभव है कि परसों सुबह तक जो श्रमिक है उन तक पहुंचा जा सके, उनको सकुशल वहां से रेस्क्यू किया जा सके. बहरहाल करीब 36 घंटे से ऊपर का समय हो गया है, लेकिन रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन अभी भी लगातार जारी है. जी,
और 24 घंटे भी शायद लग सकते हैं, ऐसा अनुमान लगाया जा रहा है. सुनील, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए एंड फॉर गेटिंग अस दोस डिटेल्स. लेट्स लिसन इनटू सम मोर रिएक्शंस दैट आर कमिंग इन फ्रॉम उत्तरकाशी.
यहाँ एक दुर्घटना की सूचना प्राप्त हुई, और सूचना प्राप्त होते ही यहाँ पे मौके पे प्रशासन की, पुलिस की, स्वास्थ्य विभाग की टीमें, और साथ ही जो हमारी रिस्पांस फोर्सेज हैं जैसे SDRF, NDRF, ITBP, हम सभी लोग यहाँ आए और यहाँ रेस्क्यू वर्क प्रारंभ किया गया. और अभी भी रेस्क्यू वर्क चल रहा है जिसमें मलबा हटाया जा रहा है, और इस समय शॉर्ट क्रिटिंग का कार्य गतिमान है. और प्रयास यही है कि जो अंदर लोग फंसे हैं उनको जल्दी से जल्दी बाहर निकाला जाए, और उनको एयर सप्लाई की जा रही है, उनसे कम्युनिकेशन के प्रयास भी किए गए हैं.
The rescue operation is on full swing. The entire labor, machinery, equipment, technical experts are with us. And some hume pipes were required of some 800 mm dia. So they have been loaded and from Dehradun, and they are en route. They will reach by night, and after that we will try to insert it in that muck. So maybe by tomorrow late afternoon we will wrap it up.
Tomorrow late afternoon. Sir, what is the biggest challenge, if you can just brief us on that, sir?
Biggest challenging is the falling debris.
Okay.
Whenever we try to remove the muck, that muck, still then again from upside some debris are coming.
Okay. Okay.
So that is the biggest challenge for us.
Right, sir. Right, sir. And you are saying that by tomorrow afternoon you are like hopeful that it will be concluded.
I am hopeful. I am optimistic that by the tomorrow late afternoon we'll wrap it up. All the forces are here. Police forces, fire service, NDRF, SDRF are with us. ITBP. So
Sir,
we'll
and-
wrap it up by later.
And all those who are trapped, we were told that 40 people are there and they are safe, right? You are in contact with them.
Safe and sound. They are safe and sound. We are communicating with them in regular interval.
But that is time for a quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5. Back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
National capital. But remember, over the next few days as well, the AQI is likely to remain in the poor to very poor category, and in fact is likely to deteriorate yet again in the severe category as well because of the wind directions. Now what remains to be seen is to what new plans can the Delhi government and the Delhi administration make sure that they initially make, and make sure that is implemented on the ground to the T, so that some sort of immediate relief can be provided to the people out here in the national capital who have been suffering from this deteriorating air quality for at least the last 10 days. Currently, I am reporting from the pollution hotspot out here in the national capital, that is the Anand Vihar bus terminal. And if I could just show you in the visuals around here, the visibility is not as bad as it was expected. The AQI out here in the national capital remains to be in the very poor category, although the measures of GRAP 4 has been implemented. But yes, the manner in which the order of the Supreme Court of not bursting crackers was flouted by several people out here in the national capital, that has made sure that the AQI deteriorates yet again. But if you compare the AQI that is today, the very next day post Diwali, with the yesteryears, you can actually see that the AQI is not as bad as it was expected, and in fact it has somewhere or the other been better than what it was last year at this time around. Also, what we have seen that yes, there were several people who had flouted the norms and had gone ahead and busted crackers through the night on the day of Diwali. But yes, today the AQI has definitely deteriorated, but it is not as bad as it can be seen. On the other hand, we have seen a lot of politics that has already started to happen in this entire matter. The opposition leaders are already coming on record and putting blame on the BJP leaders, because they were the people who instigated people to go ahead and burst these crackers. So yes, the political blame game has already started. But if you speak about the AQI has definitely deteriorated post Diwali, but it is not as bad as it was over the last many years, right after the day of Diwali. Currently, I am reporting from Akshardham Temple, where I could just show you in the visuals around here that yet again today cloud of smog has yet again engulfed the national capital. Remember, over the weekend we saw that there were spells of rain, which meant that the AQI in the national capital had improved significantly. But post Diwali, yet again we are seeing that the AQI in the national capital has yet again deteriorated. The main reason behind this is being said to be the manner in which the norms were flouted by the residents of the national capital even after the orders of the Supreme Court, which meant that there was a blanket ban on bursting of any sort of crackers. That was flouted significantly out here in the national capital, and that is the reason why we are seeing that the AQI out here has yet again deteriorated. Over the next few days, the IMD predicts that the AQI might improve due to the wind conditions, but if you look at the longer run, over the next 1 week, the AQI is yet again going to get back into the severe category, which means that it is yet again going to be a troublesome time for the people out here in the national capital region, where yet again they would be forced to breathe in the toxic air. Now what remains to be seen is to what new arrangements or schemes can be made by the government to make sure that the AQI remains under breathable levels, because over the past 1 week we have seen that the AQI had deteriorated, which meant that there were a lot of health issues that people of the national capital were actually facing. So the next 1 week is going to be very, very important, especially from the point of view of the Delhi government and the Delhi administration, to make sure that schemes are made and implemented in such a way that the AQI remains under control and it does not become hazardous for the people out here in the national capital.
जैसा दिल्ली सरकार ने कहा था कि फायर क्रैकर्स बर्न नहीं करने, लेकिन उस हिसाब से फायर क्रैकर्स बहुत ज़्यादा जलाए गए हैं दिल्ली में। जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ वहाँ भी मेरे को बहुत देखने को मिला ये, तो मैं परेशान होकर रात को सो नहीं पाया, फिर सुबह साइकिलिंग करने निकल गया। जब से ये न्यूज़ आई थी पराली जल रही है, तो तब से मैं निकलता हूँ फील करने के लिए कि क्या वेदर में चेंज हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है, बट हुआ है चेंज।
ये मतलब पोल्यूशन का ही है ज़्यादा तो मेन इशू तो, बाकी तो सब बढ़िया है। ऐसा मास्क वगैरह भी नहीं लेके आए हम, उधर क्या सब कुछ ठीक है, यहीं पे थोड़ा सा परेशानी है।
After the relief that people of the national capital got just a few days ago after light spells of rains had engulfed the national capital, which meant that the AQI had come down significantly and was hovering in the poor category. Now post Diwali, we are seeing that the AQI has again deteriorated. Currently I am reporting from Kartavyapath and just move to the frame and try and show you in the visuals over here that another layer of smog has yet again engulfed the national capital. But remember, this is not only smog, but what experts are saying that there is element of fog that is also in these visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now. So yes, the AQI has deteriorated after Diwali, but remember the AQI was already in the severe category at least 2 to 3 days ago, and today as well the AQI is still hovering within the very poor to poor category, but yet it is still very difficult for people to breathe out here. Remember the manner in which the Supreme Court orders of not bursting any sort of crackers was flouted yesterday. There were several cases that were seen out here in the national capital where this order of the Supreme Court of not bursting any sort of cracker was there was a significant number who were seen flouting these norms and bursting crackers, because of which we are seeing that the AQI has yet again deteriorated out here in the national capital and is yet again in the very poor category. Now today the prediction from the IMD is that once the sun is out, the wind speeds are likely to pick up and these pollutants would yet...
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 and we have breaking news that's now coming in from the state of Tamil Nadu, where the government there has booked several people for bursting firecrackers on Diwali days beyond the permissible time limit. 581 cases were registered only in Chennai is what the police came out and said. 554 of those were relating to firecrackers that were being burst beyond the time that was specified by the Supreme Court. The apex court of the country had said that you can burst firecrackers only for 2 hours in the day, 1 hour which was 6 to 7 a.m. and then 7 to 8 p.m. But several people violated that, which is why over 500 people have now been booked. The BJP has now made this political. C.T. Ravi coming out and accusing the Stalin government of doing this only to Hindus. This is a tweet of C.T. Ravi that I'm just going to read out, where he says the Tamil Nadu government has registered 581 cases against Hindus for bursting crackers. I challenge this anti-Hindu government to take action against those who scream through loudspeakers many times every single day. That's the analogy that the BJP has now drawn. Something similar came to the fore from the BJP as far as Delhi was concerned as well. Purnima, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Purnima, the BJP not just making this political, they're trying to make this a religion thing as well.
Absolutely, a religious indication about the DMK government taking action against people who burst crackers during Diwali. In fact, mentioning that more than 500 Hindus cases have been filed against Hindus, and says that a certain religious section uses loudspeakers throughout the day, but no action against them. Clearly, a religious indication here perhaps by the BJP, and the DMK, in fact, has so far not responded on this particular response from the BJP, but clearly this is going to be the next flashpoint as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Absolutely, and do keep a track of how the DMK responds to this. Before the moment, Purnima, thank you so much for getting us the latest on this. Shifting focus now to more breaking news that's coming in, and this is the super exclusive scoop that CNN News 18 has accessed, and this is in connection with the Israel-Hamas war. You remember, the United Nations has been discussing, deliberating what the future is going to look like, especially for all the civilians that are caught in the crossfire. Now we have learned from our sources that India has voted in favor of a UN resolution that condemns Israeli settlements in Palestine. Top government source reveals that this is not new as far as the government stand is concerned, and we are actually getting details of why India decided to vote that way. We are given to understand that there has been absolutely no change as far as India's traditional stance is concerned. We're also ensuring safety of Indians in the Gulf nations, in the entire region of West Asia, which is why this decision, diplomatic one at that, was taken by the Indian side. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, what more can you share with us as far as information that you've gathered via your sources within the Indian government on why exactly India decided to vote the way it did?
Well, India's standard position on the Israel-Palestine conflict has always been a two-state solution, and Israel's withdrawal from the occupied territory or the settlement colonies that it has built over the years. So, the voting that has happened at the United Nations General Assembly, where India has been reportedly not voted in favor of Israel, kind of reflects India's long-standing political view on the Israel and Palestine conflict. And earlier we had seen on a UN resolution that was brought in by Jordan, where the ceasefire was talked about and the humanitarian aid and crisis in Gaza was talked about. But the Condemnation for Terrorism Act that had happened on 7th of October in Israel was not mentioned. India had not voted on that resolution, saying that unless and until the act of terrorism is condemned, there cannot be an entire understanding of the situation that is happening in Israel and Gaza conflict. So that has been India's long-standing view that the terrorism action or the terrorist act of any individual, any organization should be condemned. At the same time, the rights of Palestinian people should also be acknowledged and understood by the Israeli side. And two-state solution could be the only way forward for a lasting peace in the region.
It's also, as far as India's economic interests in the region are concerned, the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor is also something that was discussed, that was finalized during the September G20 session. That is also something that could be in jeopardy, and that definitely would be on the minds of people here in power corridors in Delhi, isn't it?
Well, that corridor will be beneficial for India as well as Israel, and then entire stretch through which it will be passing through, that will also include several other Arab countries and European countries that will be benefited. Of course, it will have investment coming in from USA, Europe, India, Israel as well. So that plan or that economic impact will be shared by all of the countries. At the same time, this political stand on the Israel-Palestine conflict is something that India has always been very straight about the fact. And though it has developed a lot of strategic ties and defense cooperation with Israel in the past, also in the recent past, in fact, there have been billions of dollars of strategic interest that has been, bought by Israelis, by the Indian government and Indian army's various wings. But that does not have anything to do with India's political position in United Nations, where it comes to Israel and Palestinian conflict. And the latest voting by India in a way underlines the fact that despite all the shared interest and strategic interest that India has in that region, the only lasting peace it sees with Israel-Palestine conflict, that would be a two-state solution and withdrawal of Israeli settlement colonies from the Palestinian land.
Right, so it's not really a departure from India's traditional stand, as many within the opposition like to point it out this morning. But on that note, we have to leave it there. Thank you, Abhishek, for getting us the latest. It's a wrap from my side here on this edition of Nation at 5. Plain Speak coming up next.
I hope this has come as a reminder that what is irking people more, the attitude of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi and Punjab governments, who were for the last 1 week denying the impact of farm fires in Punjab over what is transpiring in Delhi.
You see, viewers, I am comparing terror with terror. I am not comparing apples with oranges. I am comparing terrorists with terrorists. We don't want to do that because we are bothered about vote banks.
Gurpatwan Panun is at it again. The global terrorist continues to spew hate against Bharat from foreign soil, and this time he's gone a step further and asked Sikhs not to fly Air India on the 19th of November onwards, calling for a global blockade of the airline from Vancouver to London.
Is that how you explain that educated women have a better shot at population control
using the words that the Chief Minister used yesterday in the Assembly. That's the way to describe it.
In such a graphic way.
I agree that the words chosen by him were not appropriate.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching Plain Speak. I'm Anusha Soni. The air quality in the national capital is once again worrisome after Diwali festivities. Despite a ban on the firecrackers from none other than the Supreme Court of India, there is enough anecdotal and empirical evidence on record to show that the ban was outrightly flouted. The politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP continues, where the Saffron Party has called